What's up, you guys? I am home from work and headed to the gym. It is such a beautiful day. Like, oh, hello, sorry. Yesterday I thought was beautiful because it was actually like 55, 60, but today it's like warm and sunny and not humid, and like the grass is green, and it blows my mind that it can be like this in part of the country and then like basically a blizzard in the rest of the country. I know that that's, you know, just like the facts of science, but it still just blows my mind. Anyway, headed to the gym, having a leg day today since yesterday was like back and shoulders, and you guys will see that workout. I think I might put today's and yesterday's in one video, I'm not sure. I don't know yet, but I have a facial tonight, and yeah, it's gonna be a good day. It's been great so far, and you know, just making an effort to wake up on the right side of the bed always. What's up, you guys? This workout is going to be a little bit different. I am going to go over a lot my deadlifts and my squats, and just kind of talk about where I learned to do them, how I get tips on proper form, how I learn and progress, and take it when people try to help me with my form. So first of all, I warmed up with just some glute kicks back with the resistance band / hip circle, and I've got the hip circle around my quads / right above my knee to target my glutes. And when you use this to target your glutes, you don't want to go all the way down. Watching this footage back, I probably was going a little bit too low, because when you have the resistance band and you go parallel to the ground, you actually stop activating your glutes. So if you're going to use a resistance band, don't feel the need to go all the way down, and I also don't feel the need to go all the way up and squeeze at the top, because my glutes are being activated throughout the entire movement. I don't necessarily need the squeeze at the top, but I can, like right here, I squeezed at the top. So don't feel like you have to put yourself in this box when you work out and be so critical of yourself, like, oh, I'm not squeezing my butt, it's the end of the world, or I am squeezing my butt this time. Like, you know, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I was targeting my glutes anyway, so it wasn't a big deal to squeeze at the top. But okay, the reason I framed this is to show you where you want your positioning to be. What you really want is for the barbell to be right above the arch of your foot, which I have that alignment right there. But I've also heard that during my squat, I lean too far forward. Now, I have a longer femur for someone who's 5'2", so this throws off my center of gravity, and I end up having to lean a little bit more far forward than someone who's 5'2" with a shorter femur and a longer torso. That's just because that's the way my center of gravity is. That's just the way my body is. If I were to lean more upright, I would fall backwards and a bar would fall right off of my back. So, you know, I'm learning and progressing as I go. I learn more tips and tricks for my form. So just don't put yourself in this box. You know, if people are trying to help you or trying to critique your form, really listen to them and kind of learn the science behind it. I'm definitely not the expert on it. I'm learning as I grow, and I'm just taking this chance to learn from as many people as I possibly can. So then I moved on to some deadlifts. I warmed up with the bar, but then now I'm just doing more of a straight leg deadlift. And I don't tend to go all the way straight because I just don't like to hyperextend my knees. From years of gymnastics, I have kind of like clicky knees, so they need to be somewhat bent most of the time. I went a little bit heavier and then did more of a conventional deadlift where I'm actually getting up under the bar, and when I'm driving the bar, what I'm really focusing on is shoving my glutes forward while pushing my quads and hamstrings down. So I'm thinking about two movements when I'm doing a deadlift, and those are what they are. Yeah, and if you see, you notice I try to keep my back as flat as I possibly can, activate my lats before I raise the bar up. But again, I'm learning, I'm progressing as I go. Here I'm just doing a little bit more of a hamstring activated deadlift by having those plates below my toes. It just activates your glutes more because of the flexion that it creates. So I noticed too that when I do these, I can't really go as heavy just because I do have that flexion added, and it targets my hamstrings a little bit more, so it puts a little bit more strain on my hamstrings and my glutes, so it actually kind of makes me realize I can't do as much weight as I think that I can. I mean, these are kind of just like lunges with the barbell in between, but I could compare them to a goblet squat, like a single leg goblet squat, because the weight is below you. I seriously love doing these because you don't have to focus on keeping the barbell on your back. It doesn't put any added pressure on your back or your spine or anything. You can really just focus on your glutes. The only reason I'm like kind of standing uncomfortably is because these shoes are like a size too big for me. So I'm like trying not to slip out of them the whole time. I then did the leg press and I added the resistance band for some glute activation. To be honest, I'm only leg pressing like 70 pounds here, just with the added hip circle / resistance band. It was really getting my glutes. And when you're doing these, you just want to really focus on not letting that resistance band push you out, push you in. You want to be pushing out with your knees and activating your glutes the entire time. Last thing I did was finished off with some lunges. These are one of my favorite glute exercises to do. I don't tend to add weight just because I feel more isolation when I don't actually use weight on them. But that's going to wrap up this workout. Thank you guys so much for watching. I just wanna keep calling your name until you come back home. I just wanna keep calling your name until you come back home. I just wanna keep. Cardio talk is coming in the next video, I promise. We all have moments of inspiration throughout the day, whether we get a nudge to go to a new place at a certain time or say something to someone about a situation that has been troubling us. Acting on that inspiration is the key to a happy and healthy life, but most people do not act on their inspiration because of the anxiety that bubbles up along with the preconceived ideas about how that inspiration could play into their current life. We have been conditioned to play it safe and not step outside of the box. We tell ourselves that going for what we want involves risks, and worse, we may look stupid. Our judgments, both of ourselves and of others, get in the way of our moving forward and acting on our inner desires. Many of us have inspiration coming to us all the time, but we ignore it because we overthink the outcome of the inspiration. We rationalize about the amount of time, lack of resources, or support we might get, and quickly the dream that came to us turns into a far-fetched pipe dream. In order for us to break this habit of letting anxiety creep in and destroy our inspiration, we must first recognize that the inspiration that comes to us is coming to us for a reason. Every time we are inspired, it comes to us in the form of an inner nudge. This nudge is our inner guide, our higher self, our future self. The universe is guiding us. We need to learn to trust this guidance. The problem is, so many of us are so blocked with fears, excuses, and worries that we disregard the inspiration and trust our fear instead. We get these inklings for a reason, and it's our job to recognize the nudge and nourish it.